Welcome to our kitchen. Today we prepare medieval crispelli di carne, meatballs made with pork belly, from a beautiful cookbook written in the Tuscan vernacular by an anonymous author in the 14th century, titled Libro della Cucina. We start with ingredients. We need pork belly, cheese, eggs, flour, sugar, and aromatic herbs, rosemary, sage, and fennel. The recipe doesn't specify which herbs to use, just to add a good amount of aromatic herbs. In this cookbook we find parsley, dill, marjoram, rosemary, bay laurel, lesser calamint, mint, basil, lavender, and rue. But you can use all kinds of Mediterranean herbs available in the Middle Ages, according to your taste. We parboil the pork belly, then we mince the meat, cheese, and aromatic herbs, and mix them with the egg whites, adding the flour and 2 pinches of salt. We used about 400 grams of pork belly, 100 grams of cheese, 2 egg whites, and 50 grams of flour. The author specifies using pork belly, but if you want, use a leaner cut of meat. In this case, we suggest you to change the ratio and use more cheese. We used a fresh caciotta, but you can use the kind of cheese you prefer. If you choose an aged cheese, for instance pecorino or parmigiano, grate it before adding it to the other ingredients. The Libro della Cucina, also known as Anonimo Toscano, is one of the first medieval cookbooks, written in an Italian vernacular instead of Latin, and collects 175 recipes for all kinds of dishes, from pasta and pies to meat, fish, and vegetables. This text is interesting from a perspective both culinary and historical, since many recipes are very similar to traditional dishes still prepared today in central Italy, in particular Tuscany and Umbria. Our translation of the book, with notes, an introduction, and a glossary, is now available on Amazon in ebook and print editions, in English and Italian. You find the link to buy this and our other books in the description below. The dish we are preparing today is called crispelli in the Libro della Cucina. Crispelli appears other times referring to pancakes made with flour, eggs, and saffron, or with the addition of other ingredients, for instance aromatic herbs and flowers, or fish eggs. The meat crispelli we are preparing today are meatballs or meat patties, with a variant with just cheese mixed with flour and egg whites. It is interesting to notice that the recipe with meat is recommended for 3 kinds of dishes: meatballs, ravioli, and tortelli, which means that we can use the same mixture to stuff pasta. The same recipe is also reported in the Liber de Cucina, but in this source there are just 2 options. The first is wrapping the filling in pasta, the second is using cold fat instead of pasta. We shape the meatballs, fry them in lard, and serve them sprinkling 2 pinches of sugar. Sprinkling a little sugar on savory dishes is very common in medieval and Renaissance cooking, but if you prefer, you can skip this ingredient. If you want to read more medieval sources, check out our Patreon page and read our books, De Observatione Ciborum, Early Medieval Recipes at the Court of the Franks, and the Registrum Cuquine, a medieval cookbook. For more information on the uses of herbs in historical cooking, we recommend Early Italian Recipes, Vegetables, Fruit, Herbs, and Flowers. If you're interested in ancient food, read Ancient Roman Cooking. To support our work, you can also buy us a beer and purchase our merchandise. You find all the links in the description below. These meatballs were savory and delicious, full of flavors given by the aromatic herbs and cheese. Instead of sugar, we would prefer a pinch of black pepper, but it is just a matter of taste. We tried them in two ways. First with lentils dressed with wild oregano and water mint. The second instead in a soup with minced herbs, a recipe recommended by this medieval Tuscan author that we prepared in the past. The outcome was incredibly tasty in both cases, though we preferred the preparation with minced herbs. You find the link to these recipes in the description below. If you are interested in ancient foods and flavors, subscribe our channel and consider supporting us on Patreon.